2000, Jonas Mekas released a nearly 5-hour-long experimental film comprised entirely of home movies shot over the course of around 30 years. It's called As I Was Moving Ahead, Occasionally I Saw Brief Glimpses of Beauty. This had been sitting on my hard drive for a very long time, as the runtime was a little daunting, especially when the director of the film is described as the godfather of American avant-garde cinema. What got me to sit down and finally watch it though, is actually the Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny, which might sound insane at first, but let me explain. You see, a few weeks ago Bad Bunny released his 6th studio album, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, but it translates to I Should Have Taken More Photos. The song from the album that serves as the namesake went viral on TikTok, and that's how I got to know it a bit.
Debí tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve, debí darte más besos y abrazos las veces que pude.
The main lyrics being celebrated roughly translate to I should have taken more pictures when I had you, I should have given you more kisses and hugs whenever I could, I hope my people never move away, and if I get drunk today, I hope they help me out. And over this, many people were posting videos of their loved ones that they wished they'd had more photos of and videos of, and wishing they'd had just a bit more time with them. And it really got to me. It made me think of how I would like to capture more memories of my life, insecurities be damned. This aspect made me think about the premise of Mekas' film, and while I was in a very emotional and vulnerable state, I put the film on, and I was taken on a personal and very beautiful journey. Structurally, I will now step away from how I traditionally script these videos and would like to present my stream of consciousness as it was when watching the film. I think the beauty of the film is that this guy's home movies aren't any more special than mine or yours. They could be anyone's home movies, and it would be an equally beautiful slice of life representation of the millions upon millions of stories happening simultaneously around us. It makes me think about the collective consciousness as well as many shared human experiences that would make this relatable worldwide. It makes me think about all the lives happening around me that I'll never get to see or experience, and all of the people and their sorrows, their troubles, their wonder, their excitement, and their beauty. And long after I'm gone, how the world just keeps turning, and it would be vain of me to live my life as if the world ends when I end. He claims the film was just edited together by circumstance, not caring for anything chronological, and this adds so much to how the film hits you. It almost feels like a stream of memories coming in. Perhaps it's your life flashing before your eyes before you die. As it goes and goes and goes, you get lost in the footage as you let it wash over you. And there are moments when you're watching this that you drift off and you start reflecting on your own memories. And watching this man's life unfold before your eyes makes you think of everything in life that has brought you to this exact moment. And I mean exact. Every single thing that led to me sitting in my own living room right now watching this film. And I think that's a natural occurrence to happen while watching a film such as this. And the beauty of the film suddenly comes back into focus and you snap back. And you feel a connection between you and this filmmaker you've never met before that you can't even fully describe. It makes me think about my parents and my parents' parents and what their lives must have been like and how you know bits and pieces of their stories before you were born, but you don't know a thing about all of the small moments that come in between all of the big life events you always heard about, and how I feel like I knew my grandparents very well and yet I only knew them for the last 30% of their lives. It challenged me to reach deep for a memory or a moment and explore some of the small, seemingly insignificant memories I had with them, and see them in a new light and cherish these memories, because you don't really realize how much you miss these moments until they're gone, and how I wish I could see a collection of these kinds of memories from their lives in front of me on the screen like this. It's truly unfair that the common camcorder didn't become cheap until I was growing up. I can now reach into my pocket and film what is before me in 4K, so I need to take advantage of this more often. No film I've ever seen has been this raw and this intimate. So many real moments like the birth of his children, a low-key courtroom wedding, or him and his wife taking a bath together. I feel so privileged to be able to share these kinds of moments with him.
Those are the little bits of time. And of course, it has always been so. That is why this film consists of little bits, fragments of time from my life.
The way he cuts the film together is fascinating. Many sequences are brief or sped up, and he often superimposes different scenes, and it creates a mild psychedelic effect. He may not care about the chronological order, but he knows how to make the footage presented very effective, which becomes more interesting because many times in the film he claims he is not a filmmaker, he's not making a film, and that he's just filming. And yet here we are, watching an artist at work. Also, many times in the film he inserts a title card that says, "Nothing happens in this film," which of course is juxtaposed between footage of life at its most raw and most honest. One of these times, right after the title card, he has a segment where he counts down 1 minute. And within that minute, you realize just how much life can be shown. He's obsessed with the concept of nothing within cinema and within life.
What you are seeing is my imaginary world, which to me is not imaginary at all. It's real. It is as real as anything else under the sun. So let us continue. Let us continue.
This is a man who loves New York City. We see so much of Soho in this film, and it makes me feel like I've missed out on a lot of centralized culture and life in a way. And I can't help but compare it to the mundane suburban town I grew up in. I did not have a bad childhood, but it does make me think about how my life could have been different. Then of course, I think about how if I made a similar movie, how many people would feel like they missed out on living in a smaller southern town, and perhaps how they might feel their city lives were too loud and bustling, and they might even be jealous of how I was brought up, who knows. Although I promise you, the suburban life isn't as casually cinematic as living in New York. It's a wild feeling to see so much of his children's childhood and them slowly growing up in front of your eyes when you're not even related to them, or friends with anyone remotely related to them. It almost makes me feel like I'm an angel peering in on their lives or something. After spending enough time with his family, you soon find yourself wanting to hang on, You want certain scenes to linger and you wish you could almost step into the memories and feel what they're feeling, whether it's the sun on their face or the conversations they keep, but you can't hold on. A dozen new scenes and moments have just popped up and you have to move on. All of these feel too brief, but that's just how life is. We have no idea what kind of major struggles this man may have gone through, what kind of day-to-day monotony he might have dealt with. All we see here is the beautiful moments worth lingering on. And this is emphasized by Jonas himself as he describes the footage as what happens between the silences. I struggle every day with the concept as well as the passage of time and my own mortality, as I see a new gray hair pop up every single day. I watch my mother age before my own eyes. My kid brother is about to graduate high school. It's all so tactile, and yet I try my best to live in a fantasy.
You ask me about beauty. What do I know about beauty? But I know that I have experienced the moments of happiness. The moments of happiness. And that was, if there is beauty, that was beauty. That was beauty.
The end of the film really brings a strange sense of comfort, despite it being visual proof of the inevitable. It was a TikTok trend that reminded me to finally sit down and watch this film, and watching the film in a way reminded me of TikTok itself, which might make you scoff and might sound silly at first. But when people tell me they feel too old to be on the app, or they don't want to waste their time, or they consider everything on it to be brain rot, I can partially agree from time to time, absolutely. But that can be true of most apps and social media. I think there's a beauty within the app that people might not see, as you get to see so many other people's lives from all around the globe simultaneously, and in such small snippets. And it gives you this sense of community and a sharing of cultures and customs. It's not all just silly edits or food reviews. A lot of it is people experiencing life for the very first time, just like you and I. And I can see the beauty in that, just like I can see the beauty in this film of people that I'll never meet. It feels like such a privilege to see someone else's life in such detail. I was glad to set aside 5 hours of my existence to observe someone else's.
I do not know how I managed to reach this point, how I have reached this point in my life. But I continue moving ahead, slowly moving ahead. And some glimpses of happiness and beauty come my way. By chance, when I do not even expect it. When I do not even expect it. So I keep moving ahead. I keep moving ahead, my friend.